Hey everyone, welcome back to another Ask Amy. I'm here at a slightly different day and time than usual. That's going to be the case next week as well, but I'm happy to just keep on addressing your questions whenever we can and keep on going. I love that you guys send some amazing questions, and I have a nice steady stream of them, and I really, really love that. I love seeing those questions come in. So anything that's on your mind, any topic you want to hear more about, any way I can support you at all, please send it, and there's a great chance. I think most questions that have been sent in have been addressed at some point. So I'll definitely do what I can to get you some help. So today I have a question from Amanda, and Amanda says, "Dear Amy, I usually take this part out, but I'm going to read it. I absolutely love your book and your YouTube videos." Well, thank you, Amanda. "I would love to hear your insights on money. For example, my husband is extremely generous and gives from his big heart without expecting returns. But his brother, who's making a good living, is the opposite. I get this yucky feeling when he asks us for money or gifts, and when things happen, like my husband gave him a $500 iPad on a random birthday, while he gave my husband $38 on his 38th birthday. I want to feel free when it comes to money. I don't like feeling taken advantage of. I try to tell myself money is just thought, it's not real, but it doesn't work." I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. So Amanda, I love your last line there. I love what you say. I try to tell myself money's not real, it's just thought, but that doesn't work. Yeah, that probably won't work. But there's a lot we can see about what's really going on here. So, oh, it's just thought, it's not real, probably not going to work very well for anyone. But, what I hear in here, you want to feel free, you say. You don't want to feel taken advantage of. You don't want an icky feeling when your brother-in-law's around or asks for money or gives a gift. None of that really is about money. Now, it's about money on the face of it, right? The storyline is money in your mind. That's kind of the content of what's coming up. But see if you can really kind of look at this and see, just consider it for yourself and see what this does, because it'll go a long way, I think, in starting to clear things up a little bit. See if you can consider, okay, this isn't about money. This isn't about my brother-in-law. This is you not feeling free, sometimes feeling taken advantage of, sometimes feeling that yucky feeling, you say, and not wanting to feel that stuff. Now, that's pretty human, right? That's about the most normal thing in the world. But again, like when you experience, ew, he's back, he's asking for something, that's not fair, look at his gift, I feel taken advantage of, I don't feel free. When you, Amanda, experience those things, I want you to kind of see, like, that's the way that life's showing up with you. If we can start to take, and I know this is hard and on some levels it doesn't feel right or make sense, but if we can start to take money and brother-in-law out of the equation, you can have a lot more room to kind of see this differently. So when you experience these things that you experience that you're not particularly fond of, it's this energy of thought coming through you, casting shadows. So like I'm sitting in front of a window, there are shadows in my room. Because of the way the light is, the shadows look a particular way, right? Some are there, some are big, like there's just all kinds of shadows. And every moment as that light is shifting, the shadows are shifting too. The shadows are just a reflection. They're just, a byproduct of this huge light shining in. And I love thinking about our thinking this way, seeing, okay, I get this experience of yuck, not fair, he's, not generous, all this kind of stuff that shows up within you. Well, that kind of stuff shows up in everybody in some version. Sometimes when you're around him, maybe it's a really big shadow and that's really strong, and maybe sometimes you don't feel it at all, where it changes. So it's always kind of fluctuating and changing. But where we get into trouble, and we meaning all human beings, where we start to get into trouble is when we take that seriously and we're really bought into the content of it. Like, oh, this is because he's a cheapskate. This is because he's trying to take advantage of us. This is because my husband's generous and he isn't, or because we don't have enough money for me to feel secure, or whatever reason our mind comes up with to explain this shadow. And that's what our minds do. We feel stuff. We have these shadows. We have these experiences. But we don't stop there. This little computer in our head says, oh, what's the story here? Why? And what's going on with it? And when's it going to change? And, you know, and it wants to tell this big story about it. So then it becomes about money and brother-in-laws and, you know, lack of freedom and all of this kind of stuff. But truly, all it is just thought. It's just the way that life is showing up through you in that moment. So I know for myself, like when I have, there are certain people and situations, you know, where I have the same kind of critical thinking or don't take advantage of me thinking or whatever that might look like, right? Just like you're explaining here. The more I've been able to just see, okay, this is the way thought is showing up through me. This isn't like me and my opinions, and it's not about them. It can't be. We're just having this inner experience, and it's just our mind is attaching our experience to something out there to make sense of it. So it isn't about that person does this or is this or makes me feel this way. It's like, oh, like again, on a good day, this is how I can kind of see it in my own experience. It's like, oh, there's that again. So there's that critical thinking about XYZ. There's that icky feeling about XYZ, but it's not really about that. I don't know. I hope this is making some sense, but it's like a feeling comes up within us, and it's just a shadow. It's just the way that energy is moving through us and bouncing off in that particular moment. And it's always changing. As the light changes, the shadows change. There's nothing we have to do about it, but to kind of have a bit of distance from it. And, you know, the more people are able to sort of hold that and not try to change it. So you get that stuff whenever he's around. Me too, around certain people, situations, whatever. Get that same habitual stuff. But the more you can even call it stuff, you're way ahead. You are giving it so much room to naturally morph and change when it looks more to you like, oh, here's my old thinking that comes up again. Versus, I have this problem with my brother-in-law and with money. You see that? Like for everyone, this is a huge thing to see. When we're tying it out there, we're so locked in, and that's our mind just saying, yeah, it is about that. It is about that, you know, even when we know better. So the more we just take them and out there and all of that out of the equation, it's interesting because you still get those experiences. They might go away instantly, but a lot of times they don't go away instantly. So you still have that wave of whatever it is around that person or situation. But there's like a space around it, if that makes sense. It isn't tied to that. It's more just something that's kind of floating within you. It's just like this free-flowing sort of thing within you. And I tell you, I mean, it's like we aren't clinging to it in the same way, and it just has room to just kind of morph and break up and change, and new thought comes in, or even if it doesn't, it just looks different. You know, it just feels different when it's an inwardly created experience versus when that person's doing it to us or our financial situation is doing it to us. And that's the kind of thing that allows people to truly find, oh, I'm like, this is different for me now. I woke up and it felt different, or I had that old feeling again, but it didn't last as long. And then eventually it didn't come around at all, or maybe it just looks different. You know, like that's truly how this sort of natural inside out deep change happens, is when we just make room. And it's so much easier to make room and hold things loosely when we see that it's just this inner shadow versus something that needs to change out in the world. So that's the good news, Amanda. It's much simpler than it looks. You don't have any money problems. You don't have any, you know, I don't feel free around money, or I don't feel free around my brother-in-law. I mean, I get it. That's how it shows up. And that's how any normal human being would explain it. But consider it this way, you know, see if you can see it detached from those things a little bit and see what that does for it. So thank you so much for a great question, Amanda. I hope it's helpful to others. And yeah, please send your questions to AskAmy at thelittleschoolofbigchange.com. And I'll be back here as much as I can to answer them. Thanks so much.